Sweet.
Are you ready, Squid?
I am ready.
Ready? Alright, let's do it.
I was born ready.
Hell yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't turn off my alerts and stuff. Let me do that real quick. Let's see if I have time.
Real quick.
I forgot to turn my alerts off, yeah. I don't want that to be a problem. Not that it will be, but you know. Boosh, 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 boosh. Turn it off and save. Okay, cool. Should be ready to go.
Alright, welcome back to Play Live 2018 Distance Arcades. We are here with some Pokemon Snap action with ccneverender.
Yeah.
And we have some commentator action for this run as well. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's it going? I'm Squidbird, and I also run Pokemon Snap, any percent.
Yeah. I like having a commentator just in case there's like dead air. Or, you know, if I have to focus, you know, get real into it.
So what I was going to say is, as far as the donations went, we didn't have any donations for it, but for the love of the anime, we're going to go ahead and go with the English version. So we'll have that.
Wonderful. Sounds good. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
You were close.
I do try voice acting a little bit here and there, so I love to imitate. All right, when you are ready, CC.
All right, let me go ahead and reset the console because that's for RNG manipulation. And then I'll give you a countdown. All right, hang on. Chewy with the follow. Thanks, Chewy.
How's it going, Rick?
Alrighty. I am ready to go. So I'll give you a countdown. That's 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off.
Yeah. So, just a little note before we really get into it. So Pokemon Snap is a different kind of speed game. You know, most games are about like fast movements and you know, like, you know, the perfect route pathing and stuff like that. Whereas Pokemon Snap is mostly an auto scroller. You know, like we're on a track. We can't stop moving forward. We do have some control over how we move, you know, like we have the ability to speed up or slow down. And, hang on, there we go. So.
There's a little bit of RNG as well.
Yeah, so.
As with every great speedrun.
Indeed. So Snap is mostly about getting the most amount of points in the fewest pictures possible. It's also about lag reduction and menuing. So mostly it's about like we have to know a lot of game knowledge. We have to know the best possible pictures and points, and we have to be able to get those points as quickly as possible without like slowing down at all. Yeah, that makes sense. That should make sense. But
yeah, so the first sort of point threshold we're trying to reach is 24,000 points. Right. So the idea is we're going to try to reach around 22,500 here. So that we can go into a tunnel and take a really quick electrode and get those apples as fast as possible.
Yeah, so you may notice we've been looking at the sky for a while. So the N64 has a lot of trouble handling a lot of like polygons and stuff on screen. So if we look up at the sky, then it unloads a lot of stuff that isn't on screen. And so it makes the game run smoother, whereas if we were looking down and around, we'd be losing a lot of time, just because, you know, the game would have to process like all the Pokemon, and since we're not taking pictures of those Pokemon, we don't need to worry about looking at them. Oops, saved. I saved it, kind of. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you can definitely feel like the lag whenever you look at a Pokemon, especially whenever it's doing something like evolving.
Oh, I forgot how fast this is.
Much later on.
Oof. So Japanese is obviously a little bit faster. A lot because of tech stuff, but what's interesting is that they actually found an optimization for the English version that isn't in the Japanese version, which is they clear text off of screen faster. So there are some sections where the US version saves time over Japanese version with text stuff, and so it's kind of cool. A lot of the time difference actually comes in game, but we had a good section there. So, like Squid mentioned, we're trying to get 24,000 points in order to make it to the apples, which we need to exit this stage. So now that we have the apples, we got the one picture, which is enough points to get us to apples, and then we quit out so that we can get the apples really fast and then go back into the stage.
Yeah, that was a really good beach. 23,000 is a very good score to get, and it provides some extra points for further down the run.
Yeah.
Nice little cushion. So first thing in tunnel is getting the Electabuzz to stop, and the idea is that you're going to turn around and take a picture of it.
Yep. Normally he's like really far away, but we can get really close to him if we get between him and the Electrode by slowing him down a lot. So Quo is not happy about us not doing the donation, or not doing the name incentive. Although we didn't have a name incentive, we just had a language incentive. I feel like that's
we
more
actually did have both, but we didn't have any rewards for that one. But I was okay with DSC.
Yeah, Distant Star Characters, you know. We only had like 5 or 6 characters anyways, so yeah, we couldn't do much anyways, so I'm not worried about that.
But I did get a donation during your run.
Hey, nice.
It's a $50 donation from CJ. It's all good. That says, "Yeah, CC, yeah." Ooh. So thank you very much for that donation.
Thank you,
Let's
CJ.
Go, CJ. But you might have noticed that CC hit the Electrode with an apple, and what that did was cause it to explode, which released the Kakuna to descend down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So we could get that picture there. And hitting an Electrode is going to come up again later in the level.
Yep. So you may notice that I mentioned that we want to take as few pictures as possible, yet we took like 3 pictures of Diglett. And the reason that is because we have to take pictures of Diglett in order to make it move to the next section. This is a concept called photo trigger events that happens a couple times through the run. By taking like that very centered red dot picture, we actually cause the game to make it do an action or whatever, if that makes sense. Like by taking a picture of Diglett with the red dot in that one spot, it moves into the next spot, and then again to the next spot, and then again to the next spot. It happens the same with Lapras. It's also the concept that lets us do the sign pictures. So that's why we took a whole bunch of pictures, but it's okay because it actually menus out to be pretty fine. So I mentioned that menuing is a big part of the speedrun, and so we want to menu. I keep messing up the menu. We want to menu as quickly as possible, which is like we kind of want to. It's like a puzzle pattern where we kind of want to move. We don't want to have any spaces between our maneuvers, so we can move.
There's
like
a certain rhythm to it.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to get into, or you can almost like instantly press A as soon as the cursor moves to the picture. Yeah. And you have to double tap. That's a nice Zubat.
Alright, getting Rapidash. Vulpix is kind of tricky. So, it may seem counterintuitive, but so the way that the pictures work in Snap is that if a Pokemon is doing a pose, even if it's like from behind, as long as if it's doing a certain type of pose, then it doesn't matter what direction you get the picture from. We call those omnidirectional pictures. Or poses, I guess. So even though Vulpix is facing away from us, normally in this game, a Pokemon facing away from us is a bad thing, but in this one it's actually not a big deal because it's an omnidirectional pose.
The same thing happens with Charmander. Whenever it's eating the apple, it's an omnidirectional pose as well. Gets you around 3k points. So the next threshold we want to reach is 72,500.
Yep, it's going to give us the pesters.
We're going to reach that goal here in Volcano, and that will allow us to have a very quick river.
Yep. So there's an interesting thing where you can't unlock a stage and an item at the same time. So even if we get the points required to get the pester ball, it won't let us get the river stage and the pester ball at the same time. So we're going to do something similar where we're going to go back into we're going to go into river, take a really quick picture, and then get out.
Wonderful, wonderful. You were close.
There we go. So we have 74k now. So I have the points required for pester ball. I'm just going to jump in.
Yeah.
And you literally just enter the level, take a picture, and get out, and it'll register as Poliwag.
Yep. So you may barely notice him, but there's a Poliwag up in the upper left corner.
Yes.
He's just hiding behind the bushes, and on N64 that actually counts as a Poliwag picture. Like he can see that, and so we don't need the points on him. We actually just want the pester balls.
And also, you need to have at least 40 Pokemon pictures to unlock Valley.
Yep.
So Poliwag also adds to that.
Yeah. So you might be thinking, why would go for Moltres if we are only going to get 400 points off of it? And that's one of the reasons, is that we need to get 40 unique pictures to get to Valley. So that's part of our route, is that we have to think, okay, how much time do we want to waste? Because technically I could be going for like Charizard or something, but that's like almost like a minute time loss. And we do a different strat here in oops, I almost forgot to do the thing. Here in River, we're actually going to do, we're going to wait for a random Pokemon. So there's a random chance that the Pokemon that we need, which is Cloyster, will spawn. And it's a 25% chance if it shows up and a 75% chance that it won't show up. But we have 3 chances. So it's technically like a 57% chance. I never remember the number exactly. I think it's 57. Quo will remind me, I'm sure.
Something like that. But yeah, Cloyster is notorious for killing runs. But we do have a backup just in case. In the cave, where we'll take, if necessary, a picture of Jinx.
Yep.
But that loses about like 20 seconds? Or 30? Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that. Okay, saved. Alright. Yeah, so, not getting Cloyster is a 30-second time loss. It's like guaranteed. It's actually closer to like 20, 25, but it's no bueno. Okay, that was 1. We have 2 more chances. Okay, we have 1 more chance. Marathon luck. Are we gonna get it? No, we didn't get it. Okay, I guess we gotta go for Jinx.
Well, the Jinx strat is pretty cool too. So once we get to that, we can explain
to show it off.
how that works. But yeah, that's something that you unfortunately have to deal with, is the Cloyster RNG.
Yeah. For the record, there is a bounty. I will pay $50 to anybody who can find me an RTA viable manipulation to make Cloyster spawn. We do have some ideas about RNG manipulation, but nothing that we can do in real time, you know what I mean?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Like, we would have to be able to determine what our seed is, and then be able to determine like what frame we're going to spawn them on and stuff like that. There's a lot of aspects involved, but if we found a way to do it RTA viable, which would make Cloyster spawn every time, I will definitely pay you. So, anybody who's out there who's thinking about it.
So going into the caves, first Pokemon we're gonna go for looks like a Bulbasaur, but in fact it's a Ditto. So CC will be setting up some apples to lure the Bulbasaur closer to the edge.
Yep. And then one more time, we're going to do that red dot picture photo trigger event. So this Grimer right here will not spawn unless you take a picture of that first grimer. So even though we don't care about that first grimer, we're just going to take a picture of it, and it's going to make the other one spawn.
And then once the other one spawns, we're going to throw 3 pester balls at it to force it to evolve into a muck.
Yep.
And you want to look away from the muck while it's evolving to reduce lag. Because you can actually lose quite a few seconds for that.
I'm going to do it for fun. So we have like a Hail Mary. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay. Yeah, so there's a setup to possibly hit that, oh, and I ruined everything. there's a setup to do a Hail Mary throw to get the Weeping Bell to be knocked into the pool really early, and that saves like 10 seconds. But since we have to wait for Jinx anyways, it would have been a waste. But
we're also going to get more points with a closer Weeping Bell.
Yeah, so by having to wait and actually do this, we actually get a lot more points. So it's for the best, but it would have been super swag if I had gotten that. Okay, so we're going to use a concept called square head theory, which is like we're going to try and put Jinx in the corner of the frame in order to make our angle and our position slightly closer and more optimal. And that will allow us to take a picture of Jinx before it really even renders on screen. It'll render here in the oak check. So like some of these pictures didn't count, but this one counts as Jinx. You can barely see it way off in the corner there.
Yeah, you generally want to take a few pictures just to be safe.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful.
So now that we have 40 Pokemon, we can enter the Valley stage.
Yep. We need one less point threshold, which is 130,000 points. I have 127. Boom. Take a picture of the sign. Can't forget that. So this is going to introduce the sign section of the run. So at the end of this level, we're going to talk to Professor Oak, and he's going to tell us about the Pokemon signs in this place. So all over the island, in every stage, there is a Pokemon sign that's sort of like in the geography of the stage, and you have to take a picture of it. Normally, if you had taken it before you had gotten to this point, then it doesn't count. Like, he won't know what it is. But once you get to the end of Valley here, he will understand. Which is why we can take a picture now of the sign before it's even technically valid. And by the time we get to the end of the stage, it will become a valid picture. Okay.
So since we got 127,000 points, we're going to need to take a picture of one more Pokemon. It is possible to reach Valley with 130,000 points already, and
it's really tough though.
It's really tough, but it makes for a faster Valley. I think it saves like 4 seconds.
Yeah, it saves 4 seconds for every picture you don't have to submit. So by getting a 0 picture Valley, we're essentially saving 4 seconds per picture, which I think I mentioned. I said it in a different way, but yeah. So we're saving a lot of time by not having to do any pictures there.
What Pokemon are you going for?
I went for a Sandshrew.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my feed is a little bit delayed, so
it's all good. So this is usually a good part of the run to just do, like, to chill and relax. It's also a good shout out thread section. So shout outs to the Snap community. Lots of cool people up there. If anybody likes this game and wants to consider running it, it's a really cool and it's a really quick game. It's only like 20 minutes long, you know, like 25, 24, 23. When you're starting out, and then you get down to like 22-minute times. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
CC has a lot of very helpful tutorials available on YouTube.
Yeah.
That help me in particular, and other runners as well.
Yeah, we have no shortage of information. Oh, I missed the snipe. Oh, I got him.
So yeah, you could get an early Mankey snipe there, which probably saves around 5 seconds if I timed that right. But not the biggest time loss.
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna mash through all that.
So now we're gonna get a picture of we're gonna go back to every stage and get a picture of every sign. We already got the Doug trio from Valley, so the next stage we're going to is the cave, and we're gonna get the Mewtwo constellation.
Exactly. But now that we've gone to Professor Oak and he knows about the signs, he's going to give us an item called the Dash Engine. And the Dash Engine is going to allow us to, I think, go like twice or 3 times as fast through the stage, which is very handy. So we're going to be able to just rush through the whole thing. And we're going to do lag reduction while we're waiting, but we're going to blast all the way down to the last room here. The sign is coming up around the corner. Right there. Oh. I'll get it one day.
I'd say this game is really good for first-time speedrunners. It's pretty simple to get into, but you know, just like any other speedrun, it can be difficult to optimize.
Yep. I would say it's a game that's easy to start but hard to master. You know, which is a lot of games, but it's very user-friendly. It was designed for kids back in the 1999, so it's like it can't be that hard, you know. But
so the reason
getting like consistently high scores and stuff like that, they can be kind of tough. Go ahead.
The reason for the 130,000 point threshold was to get the Pokemon Flute, which will allow us to activate a few more signs.
Oh yeah.
The river one, we need it to make Vileplume dance, which will reveal the Keybone tree. And then we'll be using it again in the tunnel level.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah. So we only needed it for river and tunnel, but they are signs, and we do have to get those. And we normally don't get any other pictures between Valley and signs, so Valley's kind of the last chance, or last good chance to get points to catch up.
Welcome back.
There is a backup where you can go to the river and take a picture of Snorlax. Or not the river, I'm sorry, the beach.
Okay, we're going to do a little bit of fancy maneuvering here. So this is something where kart mechanics comes into play. You can actually drift from side to side and speed up and slow down and stuff. So we're going to drift to the right side. We're going to skip past that Electabuzz and Electrode. We're going to squeeze right past them. It's kind of a bottleneck, that area right there. And Electabuzz is kind of a big dude, and he'll block us if we try to get too close to him. So we got to get it just right. That's a setup. There's a couple other setups. It's actually not like a super crazy precise. It is pretty precise, but instead of having to wing it every single time, we came up with a couple setups. And there, we actually moved Pikachu within range of the egg and played the flute at just the right time. And we were able to get that without having to look. There's actually an audio cue that I can tell that if I got it or not, so I didn't have to look back to see.
Yeah, you can hear Pikachu just start his electricity. Yeah, and then after the tunnel, there's one more sign, which is Kingler Rock in the river.
And there it is, and beach.
I'm sorry, I keep messing that up.
Alright, and that's all the signs, so now we unlock the final boss.
Welcome back.
So, Mew's a pretty cool boss. There's two phases that you have to try to knock him out of the ball. There's a green cycle and a yellow cycle. The green one, he kind of moves in like a figure 8 pattern from side to side. And you have to get 3 apple hits on both. So, he can be a little sneaky sometimes, especially in the yellow cycle.
Yeah, there's a spot that I like to look at on the stars, and I just kind of aim there and I spam apples. Oh man. And the way it works is that there's a lot of times he'll spawn like right there and you can get a quick kill, but other times if he doesn't get a quick kill, or if I don't get a quick kill on him, he'll move into that area pretty quickly. And then the yellow cycle, he kind of just comes from left and right. But now that we got him out of his ball, we're going to take a picture of him, and we're going to submit it, and this is actually the end of the game, so time is coming up in about 6 or 7 seconds. And now, so right about 4 seconds from now, 3, 2, 1, time. There we go.
Nice. GG.
Indeed. Thank you. That was not subbed animal sounds. Okay. Yeah, so subbed animal sounds is kind of our threshold for like a good run, right? He's right there at 21.58. So since I did not get a 21.58, I will donate $5. So there we go. So thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, we're a cool little community. If you guys like it, you should come check us out. We have plenty of guides and stuff. But thanks to Distance Dark Heroes for letting us play.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Final time was a 22:22. I had to wait for the delay on stream here, but finally got your time in.
All right, I got you.
Nice.
That's your official time for the marathon.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break here, and we'll be back for some Super Smash Bros. Brawl with Drago. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you, Lily. All right, so let's go ahead.